Look, how do you take things in stride? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1,304 of What's She Up To Now. I just document the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. 48 years in entrepreneurial, different businesses, different size businesses over the decades, as well as simultaneously over a quarter century in corporate America. Working actually for some of the most amazing companies on the planet. Now, in 2016, had the opportunity following my divorce, I call it opportunity now, didn't feel like it at the time, but the opportunity to divest myself of all the businesses I was doing with my ex-husband and opened up to what do I want to do now. You know, not very many times in our life that we give ourselves permission to stop and say, well, what do I want to do now? What am I going to do now? My kids are grown. So I found myself in a position where I could say, I could retire, but I don't really want to. Not ready to retire. There's too much fun and too much things to do in the world to just stop doing the things that I've been doing. What do I want to do? I didn't want to go back really to any of the industries I worked in before, but I am ending up touching those industries now anyway. But I didn't want to go back in a job or business ownership format in those. I wanted to try something new. I had always been curious about the online world, but I'd never really jumped in. I tipped my toe in here and there doing really, really tiny things, but I'd never done any real online automated business. Now, enter COVID-19, and I am so grateful and so glad that I had made the jump into the online world, because I firmly believe that COVID-19, although there were a lot of negatives and a lot of bad things that have come out of it and continue to happen as a result of that, there were some really cool things that happened. Technologically, we as business owners and as human beings made a quantum leap into the next big thing, which is automating and virtualizing our work, more work from home, our communication, Zoom and conference calls, and eliminated the expense and need for traveling. I remember working for an organization in corporate America, and I made like 24 trips in like an 8 or 10 week period. And it was horrible. It was because I had 2 young kids at home. My husband ended up getting pneumonia, so here he is taking care of the kids while I'm traveling, and he's got walking pneumonia. So traveling isn't all it's cut out to be sometimes. And it's very, very expensive. That organization spent tens of millions of dollars just on traveling, moving salesmen around the world, and quality directors around the world, things like that. And it was kind of crazy when we look at it now. But then remember, it was before the internet. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the technology to go ahead and do things. We needed to actually travel. But in the last 10, 20 years, technology has changed and advanced in ways that make business and life a whole lot easier. It can make it harder if you want, but it can also make it a whole lot easier. So today we're talking about taking things in stride. Some of the things that was our idiom for supersize your business, meaning how do we handle change and challenges and difficult situations? Do we handle them in ways that show the kind of person we are? Guess what? We do. We show the kind of person we are when we're faced with challenges and changes all the time. Might not be what we want to show the world, but we're showing who we are right now. It doesn't mean we're not going to change and grow and evolve and handle things in stride or take things in stride in the future. It just is showing how we're handling it right now. It's almost more important in my imagination how we handle things than what we actually handle, because all of us handle a whole lot of stuff all the time. So that was our discussion on supersize your business. Our challenge, our annual challenge today, and it's right here, was about music. I already forgot it. That's how memorable it was. Music that charms the savage beast or the savage soul, and then how music soothes us today. Now, I have a cold, so my throat's cloggy, my ears are plugged, my nose is running, and so are my eyes watering. So I don't know if music is going to charm my cold or my savage beast or not, but we'll see. I'll play some music today. Granddaughter's going to be here soon. We'll play some music. We'll see how she's feeling today. So that was our annual challenge today. We're doing one thing every day, just a little thing like that. You know, what kind of music soothes you? Share in the comments below. every day for 2021. Why? Because beginning of the year, I don't know about you, but after 2020, I was still, even though I'd done a lot of things and a lot of things were positive for me, I still felt a little off and a little discombobulated. And I wanted to say, well, what could I do that would help me to feel better and to know that and feel more centered and have a stronger foundation so that what's going on around me has almost no effect on me. And that comes from knowing ourselves, knowing our foundation, knowing our core values, knowing what's central and core to us and what's important to us. So I decided that our annual challenge for 2021 would be doing one thing every day that centers us. And it just so happens that I had the little journal book to go along with that. So it's going to be interesting. It's already fall, and usually by now I'm thinking about what's next year's challenge going to be, and going to go one of a couple different ways. Number one, we don't have the cabin anymore, so I'm not going up to the cabin and grabbing these little journal books as they get published and come out. Although this one, I think, has been out for a few years. Maybe, let me see my magnifying glass. This one's been out since 2016, so I guess I could probably just go to Amazon and make a search. But I'll think of something. I don't know if I want to, this is the 4th year in a row I've used a little journal book. I don't know if we'll do that, or maybe we'll just write our own journal book. We'll decide what is the one thing we want to focus on in 2022. 2022, that's kind of a cool year. And we'll do one thing every day because, you know, we could definitely design a book as cool as this, or maybe even cooler, since we've had 4 years of experience using it and using a tool to pick one little thing every day. That might be actually more fun to actually creatively do our own. Or I could use my flip book. I wrote a book in 2011, 2012 now, I don't remember, to help me recover from my sudden cardiac arrest. It was just tools and techniques and strategies and things that I learned along the way, or had learned along the way but had forgotten to use, which resulted in my sudden cardiac arrest. Things like, you know, the 7 different areas and aspects of our life. I went through a period where I wasn't stopping and making my goals based on all that. Before that I did, and I got married, had kids, ran a bunch of businesses, and in the middle of that chaos and craziness, and all the other things that were coming at me, I stopped doing some of that. And some of those things, some of those habits, some of those rituals, some of those things that I did that caused me to be able to take life in stride went by the way of the dodo, went by the way of the wayside of the road, and I stopped doing those things. And I didn't pay attention at first. I wasn't noticing that, you know, a little item here and a little item there, a little habit here, a little habit there, and before I knew it, everything exploded, and life was pretty chaotic for a little while. But I'm just fortunate to have a life, so no complaints here. I'm taking it in stride and figuring it out. Our Get Up and Go challenge today was all about our spiritual well-being, and we shared the tool of meditation and how you can apply the tool of meditation. I think of meditation as a tool, just like affirmations and all kinds of things that we're talking about. It's just a tool we can use to help us create the life that we want. So we can apply meditation. We define what is our spirituality. We define what we want our spirituality to be. We define and decide what meditation is to us. How complicated or easy do we want to make meditation? Me, I say keep it simple. To me, meditation is breathing and deep breathing and focusing on my breathing and allowing the wisdom of the universe or the world or God to come to me based on the questions that I ask. But we have to have quiet, still time in order to even hear the options and the answers to the questions that we ask. So that was our spiritual soap for today. Those are the things I'm working on. This is my last week with my granddaughter, so I'm spending most of my time this week. I cleared my schedule so that I could really focus on and spend time with her. And it turned out to be perfect because I ended up with a cold and just a tickle in my throat and a little bit of a stuffy nose. So definitely a cold, which last time, every time my granddaughter goes to school, it seems I catch a cold. First time summer school, she caught a cold. I did not. Then this time, she caught a cold, and my whole household did. So that's just one of those things we go with the flow on. And guess what? Colds haven't gone away. They're going to keep going. They're going to be around until come up with a vaccine for a cold. Just kidding. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow to let you know what she's up to now. Have a great day.